On December 26, 2004, a terrible tragedy unfolded in the Indian Ocean. A massive earthquake hidden deep beneath the sea floor unleashed a series of monstrous waves. These waves, called tsunamis, crashed into coastlines across 14 countries. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, as it came to be known, left a trail of devastation in its wake. It was one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. The tsunami struck on a seemingly ordinary Sunday, catching many off guard. People were going about their daily routines, unaware of the impending danger. Tourists relaxed on idyllic beaches, while fishermen were out at sea hoping for a good catch. Little did they know that a wall of water was hurtling towards them. The tsunami's impact was swift and merciless. Coastal communities bore the brunt of the wave's fury. Homes, businesses, and infrastructure were reduced to rubble in an instant. The sheer power of the water swept away everything in its path, leaving behind a scene of utter destruction. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami serves as a stark reminder of the immense power of nature and the importance of being prepared for such catastrophic events. The disaster began deep beneath the Earth's surface, where tectonic plates collide and grind against each other. On that fateful morning, a massive earthquake ripped through the Indian Plate and the Burma Plate. The quake was colossal, registering a magnitude of 9.1 on the Richter scale. The epicenter, the point on the Earth's surface directly above the earthquake's origin, was located off the west coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. This region sits along the infamous Ring of Fire, known for its intense seismic activity. It is a zone where earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are frequent occurrences. The earthquake's immense energy displaced an enormous volume of water, creating a series of towering waves that spread outwards from the epicenter. These waves, traveling at speeds of up to 500 miles per hour, raced across the Indian Ocean, carrying with them the potential for unimaginable destruction. The earthquake's tremors were felt as far away as Bangladesh and Malaysia. People ran out of their homes and buildings, fearing for their lives. However, the worst was yet to come for coastal communities located thousands of miles from the epicenter. The earthquake's energy had set in motion a chain of events that would have devastating consequences. The sudden displacement of the sea floor created a massive disturbance in the ocean's water column. This disturbance manifested as a series of waves that spread outwards from the epicenter like ripples in a pond. Unlike ordinary wind-generated waves that break at the shore, tsunami waves travel through the entire water column from the surface to the ocean floor. This gives them immense power and the ability to travel vast distances without losing much energy. As these waves approached shallower coastal waters, their speed decreased, but their height increased dramatically. The water, compressed by the narrowing seabed, had nowhere to go but up, forming towering walls of water that crashed onto unsuspecting shores. The tsunami waves, some reaching heights of over 100 feet, slammed into coastal areas with terrifying force. The first wave, often not the largest, caught many people off guard, while subsequent waves continued to batter the coastline for hours, exacerbating the destruction. The tsunami's impact was felt most acutely in Indonesia, particularly in the province of Aceh, located on the northern tip of Sumatra. The waves, arriving just minutes after the earthquake, slammed into the coastline with unrelenting force. Entire villages were wiped off the map, leaving behind a trail of debris and despair. In Banda Aceh, the provincial capital, the waves reached heights of over 30 feet, inundating the city and causing widespread destruction. Buildings crumbled, cars were tossed like toys, and people were swept away by the surging waters. The tsunami's impact extended far beyond Indonesia. In Sri Lanka, the waves struck the eastern and southern coasts, causing significant damage and loss of life. Coastal communities were devastated and popular tourist destinations were transformed into disaster zones. India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, located close to the earthquake's epicenter, were also hit hard. The tsunami's waves inundated these islands, causing extensive damage to infrastructure and claiming many lives. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami was one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. The final death toll is estimated to be over 230,000 people, with thousands more missing and presumed dead. The scale of the disaster was unprecedented, affecting countries across a vast geographical area. Indonesia suffered the highest number of casualties, with over 170,000 people losing their lives. The province of Aceh was particularly hard hit, with entire communities wiped out by the tsunami's fury. Sri Lanka also experienced a significant loss of life with over 35,000 people killed. Beyond the staggering death toll, the tsunami caused widespread destruction of property and infrastructure. Homes, businesses, schools and hospitals were reduced to rubble. Coastal communities were devastated, and the economic impact of the disaster was felt across the region. The tsunami also had a devastating impact on the environment. Coastal ecosystems were severely damaged, with mangrove forests, coral reefs, and marine life suffering significant losses. The tsunami's waves deposited debris and pollutants far inland, contaminating water sources and agricultural land. Section 6. The world responds. As news of the disaster spread, the world watched in horror and disbelief. The scale of the devastation was difficult to comprehend, and the human cost was immeasurable. However, amidst the tragedy, a remarkable outpouring of compassion and support emerged from all corners of the globe. Governments, international organizations, non-governmental organizations, and individuals from around the world mobilized to provide aid and assistance to the affected countries. Emergency relief efforts focused on providing food, water, shelter, and medical care to the millions of people who had been displaced or injured. Financial aid poured in from governments, corporations, and individuals. Billions of dollars were pledged to support immediate relief efforts and long-term reconstruction projects. The United Nations launched one of its largest ever relief operations, coordinating the global response to the disaster. Medical teams from around the world arrived in the affected areas to provide critical care to the injured and to help prevent the spread of disease. Engineers and construction workers worked tirelessly to rebuild damaged infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and communication networks. Section 7. Rebuilding Lives. In the aftermath of the tsunami, the long and arduous process of rebuilding lives and communities began. The physical damage was extensive, but the psychological scars ran even deeper. Survivors faced the daunting task of coping with the loss of loved ones, their homes, and their livelihoods. The international community remained committed to supporting the affected countries in their recovery efforts. Reconstruction projects focused on rebuilding homes, schools, hospitals, and other essential infrastructure. Programs were also implemented to provide psychological support to survivors, many of whom were traumatized by their experiences. The disaster highlighted the importance of disaster preparedness and the need for early warning systems. In response, efforts were made to improve tsunami warning systems in the Indian Ocean and other vulnerable regions. Public awareness campaigns were launched to educate communities about tsunami risks and evacuation procedures. The rebuilding process was slow and challenging, but it was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Communities came together to support each other, and gradually, signs of progress began to emerge from the ruins. Section 8. Scars and Lessons. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami left an enduring legacy on the world. It served as a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature and the importance of being prepared for such catastrophic events. The disaster also highlighted the interconnectedness of the global community and the power of collective action in times of crisis. One of the most significant lessons learned from the tsunami was the critical need for effective early warning systems. The lack of a comprehensive tsunami warning system in the Indian Ocean at the time of the disaster meant that many coastal communities had little or no warning of the approaching waves. In response to the disaster, the international community came together to establish the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System. This system, modeled after the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, uses a network of sensors, buoys, and communication systems to detect tsunamis and issue timely warnings to at-risk areas. The 2004 tsunami also highlighted the importance of disaster preparedness at all levels, from individual households to national governments. Section 9. A Legacy of Preparedness. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami was a tragedy, but it spurred advancements in tsunami detection and disaster preparedness. The Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System now provides valuable time for coastal evacuations. This system has saved countless lives in subsequent events. Educational programs and community drills have raised awareness about tsunami risks. The legacy of the 2004 tsunami lives on in improved systems and global cooperation. It reminds us to mitigate impacts and build resilient communities.